So good morning. Take a moment to make sure you're really comfortable either lying down on your floor or in a comfortable seated pose. And if you're in a comfortable seated pose, you might like to come into Chittakash Mudra, where you interlace the fingers except the index and the thumb, pointing the index fingers to the earth and your thumbs towards your breastbone. And if you're lying, just make sure that you're as comfortable as you possibly can be. Maybe a bolster underneath your knees or a cushion. And see if you can have your hands away from your body. And gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. Let your eyes be soft. And start to notice all of your points of contact. All the parts of you that are in contact with the floor. And feel, sense, imagine that you're breathing into all of those points of contact simultaneously. And as you exhale, give your weight. Consciously give your weight. Consciously receive support. And then take your awareness into your organs. Breathing into the organs of your abdomen and pelvis. Feel them gently expanding away from one another. And as you breathe out, let your organs be like water-filled balloons and give their weight into the earth. To the back of the body if you're lying, into your pelvis if you're seated. And then take your awareness into the organs of your chest and your neck. Feel, sense and imagine the organs of your lungs or the lobes of your lungs moving apart from one another. 3 lobes on the right, 2 lobes on the left. And as you exhale, feel, sense the weight of the lungs softening into your support. Softening around the heart, the thymus. And then imagining you're breathing into all the organs of your head, into your brain, into your eyes. As you breathe out, soften all the organs of the head, give their weight into your support. The back of the body if you're lying, and into your pelvis. And then sink away from your crown if you're seated. Have a sense that you have arrived fully in your body, in your soma, in your being. And become aware of your gentle abdominal breath. Like you're wearing a silk scarf around your lower ribs and your abdomen. See if you can allow the ribs to expand at the front, the back and the side of the body. Like your breath is trying to touch that scarf from the inside out. Notice when you breathe out, the diaphragm relaxing. Passive softening of the diaphragm. And follow the 4 phases of the breath. Follow the inhaling breath to the space. Notice how that melts into the exhaling breath, and you follow the exhaling breath. And let it lure you into that space at the end of your exhale. With every breath in, you draw your awareness deeper and deeper into your breath. And with every breath out, you settle a little more into this moment, into the present. The next time you exhale, let go of all breath control as you settle into the space at the end of the exhale. And if you wish to set an intention for this practice, or maybe to dedicate this practice to someone you love, someone you need, maybe a group, maybe a situation, then hold that deep within your heart space. Hatha, yoga, Nishasana. It is with great respect and infinite love for ourselves and all beings that we now come to this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And gently releasing your hands. We're going to begin our somatic movement this morning in line. So if you're in line, you can bend up your knees and plant your feet. And if you're seated, uncross your legs, come to the top of your mat and roll through your spine to take yourself down. Just notice, how does your spine feel this morning? And when you're ready, lay yourself down onto the floor. And have your feet hip width apart and parallel. So lining your feet up with your sit bones. And have your arms off your body. And just notice here, how does your body meet the floor? How do you give your weight? How do you surrender to gravity? Take yourself to your favourite beach, real or imagined. And imagine that you've been picked up with your mat. And you turn around and you look at the imprint you've left behind. Take a snapshot of that from your feet to your crown, hands to your crown. And then begin your inhaling breath, taking you into the arch. So as you inhale, let your pelvis roll towards your feet. Your belt line lifts away from the floor. Notice here how the front of the body needs to let go to allow the back to contract even more. And then could you let your back melt like warm honey drizzling off a spoon, and just let your back sink to neutral. Surrender to gravity, let it take you to neutral. And then do that again, and as you inhale and arch, notice, are you deviating towards one side, which is probably more likely what we will do rather than be dead center. Excuse me. And so if you have rocked towards one side, let's start going straight away into this diagonal arch and release. If you need your hands on, you place a hand on the front of the pelvis that you've rocked toward, and you press the opposite shoulder back. And you might even like to let your arm roll back this morning, like a one-armed flower. And then as you breathe out, let go of that diagonal rope on your back and feel like the rope is contracting across your front. And if you want to let your arm come with you as you roll your shoulder towards your opposite pelvis, diagonal flatten out, let your arm roll in. Notice, did your head move? And then super slow, let your back stay really soft and start to lengthen that rope across the front of your body. About 3/4 of the way back with your shoulders switch off, and then could you just surrender to gravity for the last little bit? Resisting the temptation to pull your shoulder to the floor with your back. And then do this diagonal one more time. As you inhale and arch, you're creating a bridge from the pelvis to the opposite shoulder. If you wish, as you press the shoulder back to then roll your arm like a rolling pin, you end up lifting your little finger and your thumb presses down. Notice that your chin will soften towards the lifted breastbone. And now let your back melt. Like pancake batter spreading into a hot pan, let your back release. Once you meet neutral, keep going. Take an extra breath, of course, if you need to, just let your breath flow. You're going to sink in the center, sink your ribs, roll your pelvis to your ribs, ribs to your pelvis on the diagonal. And you can roll the arm in with it. Let your head tip and it'll tip and maybe move towards one side. Now take your time. Notice how long that rope is on your back from your pelvis to your shoulder. Feel how the rope on the front is constricted. And now slowly start to release the rope on the front. Pelvis back to neutral. About 3/4 of the way back with your shoulder. Switch off and let gravity do the rest. And then pause. Come back to noticing your imprint, like you're lying on your bench. Notice how powerful that move can be when done mindfully. And then come to the other side. If you want to put your hand on the front of your pelvis, please do. You're happy to have your arm down beside you. You can. Though remember, if you feel like your ribs aren't moving at all today, you may even find it better to just take the hand and place it on the diagonal rib cage. Your choice. On your inhaling breath, you're going to gently roll towards that second side. So remember, this is your second side, so it's not your default, so you like to make the movement smoother. Could you imagine the rope really drawing your shoulder blade and pelvis towards one another? Option to roll the arm back. Pause there. Wait until you need to breathe out. And when you do, sink, let your back go. Let your back go like warm honey drizzling off a spoon. Then you'll go past neutral, sinking in the center, pressing the ribs down with your hand, or let your arm roll with your shoulder as that rope tightens across the front of the body. You might even feel like you want to squeeze your knees in here. And if you do, let it happen. And then super slow. Could you keep your back out of it? Yes, you could pull your shoulder back, or you could let go of the front and allow gravity to do the work. Switching off about 3/4 of the way. One more time on your own. And bringing both hands down beside you. When you finish the second diagonal, notice that your knees have come back out. If they haven't, squeeze your knees back in, roll onto the inner blade of your feet a little more. And then slowly start to bring the weights back to the 4 calf-ties of your feet, lining the heels up with the sit plane. Take a breath in and let your back arch. And notice now if the weight's a little more centered on your sacrum, your tailbone. Like those 2 train wheels on a track. The 2 sides of your pelvis roll forward equally. And then sink in the center. Let your ribs roll towards your pelvis as well as your pelvis towards your ribs. So you can let your head tip back. If you want to add your arms and roll them in, squeeze your knees in, feel free. Because of course the flower just builds on your arch and flatten. And then super slow, let go of the front. And come back to neutral. Notice your imprint. Do that one more time if you need to. Otherwise, bring your knees into your chest and notice what you would serve you best this morning. So you might be inhaling, arching once again, coming into the flower. Exhaling, releasing, rolling your arms in as you sink into your flatten, tipping your head back. And slowly coming back to neutral. And then everyone bring your knees into your chest and just notice how your lower back feels this morning. You could circle. You could gently go from side to side, whatever you feel you need. Or maybe you just want to hug in and hold. Then we're going to roll onto our belly to do a back lift. So if you'd like to roll through your spine, and come on up, and then go over onto your belly, feel free to do that. And as you come over onto your belly, let's come to the Sphinx version. The last couple of weeks we've been doing one with your arm out at T, and if you prefer that, stay with that. Otherwise, bend your elbow and place your forearm on the floor. Line your thumb up about with your nose as you look towards that hand. And remember, the other arm goes down the side. Gently rock your pelvis side to side, make sure it's level. Tops of feet, tops of knees are facing the floor. When you breathe in, you gently lift your trunk away from the floor. Feel your shoulder blade on the arm you're looking towards. Glide over your ribs, connecting it to your opposite leg. Just like what you were just doing with your arch on your back. Feel that rope shortening from the shoulder blade to the opposite pelvis. At the top, let go of what you don't need. Oh, look at that. And then from there, slowly, that's amazing. How much you can let go, how much you don't need to hold. Completely switch off. Try and let your shoulder release. If you're finding your shoulders not releasing, maybe you do the next one with your arm out in your T and work out for you which position is best for you to relax your shoulder at the end. On your inhaling, you lift your chest, tops of feet, tops of knees face the floor. You still glide your shoulder blade over your ribs, and that would mean you drag your hands along the floor. You can look more towards the floor with this version, or you can look to your thumb. And then super slow, think about the rope, let it lengthen. Slowly release, completely switch off, which might mean you even let your feet roll to the side a little. And do one more time on your own. You choose which version. You can even come back to the first version you taught, which is your hand under your cheek. Really explore this morning which one serves you best. Honoring your authentic self, what you need. Have a moment of melt as you complete the third time. And then turn your head to the other side. So on this second side, you choose. This shoulder might be totally different. But if you find a version of the arm position that suits you best, please just do that version. Check the tops of your knees and your feet are facing the floor. Pelvis is level. At the top, let go of what you don't need. And then slowly, like a rope that's lowering something very precious back to the floor. Being completely switch off. Do 3 on this side, making sure you let go in between each repetition. And remember, you don't need to come too high. This is not about how strong your back is. It's about how well your brain controls the muscles of the front and the muscles of the back. Full voluntary control means we can contract muscles and we can also let them slowly, smoothly move. Completely switching off. And in your choice, you could roll straight over into your back. If you love child, you might like to come into a child pose first. Sinking your buttocks towards your heels, maybe reaching your fingers and lengthening your spine to begin with. And then you could bring your hands down beside your feet, or make a fist stack, or rest your head onto the back of your hand. Come back to where you began, yielding all of your points of contact. Come back to that gentle abdominal breath, the silk scarf around the ribs, the lower ribs and the upper abdomen. And stay in your child pose, enjoying your child. And then when you're ready, you roll up one vertebrae at a time, just coming to seated so that you can come back onto the floor. We're going to do a diagonal arch and release. So position yourself on the ground so you'll be able to slide your legs. So you might need to go more on the diagonal if your mat's not very slippy. I'm going to do two. We'll mix it up a little bit. So take one hand behind your head and lift the diagonal foot off the floor and have it at a right angle at the rim, and the knee sits directly above the pelvis. On your inhaling breath, let your back arch, and as you arch your back, could you resist your leg? So put your hand behind your thigh and resist your leg as it presses away from you. It's like when we do it like this, yeah? And so now we're doing it on a diagonal, and then as you breathe out, let your back go, let your leg come in, and resist it first without moving your head. Now tuck your elbow in. On your next exhale, come on up. Don't let your leg move. Super, super slow. Start to release your head. Feel like you're lifting your head off your shoulders. And again, you're working on the rope that moves diagonally across your body. When your head touches down, release your arm, touch your foot. And let's go on the outer blade of the foot. Slide the outer blade of the foot all the way down towards straight. You don't need to straighten it all the way. If that's as far as you can go and keep your back and pelvis melted onto the floor. It is okay to let your other leg roll out, of course, that might naturally happen. And then let's start the second repetition with your leg where it is. So if you've got your legs straight, you can have hip, knee, and toes facing the ceiling. If you're off straight, stay where you are with your knee out to the side. Take a breath in, gently arch, and press your leg down. So if you're like me, your knees out to the side, I'm pressing your outer ankle bone down. If your leg's straight, you'll press your heel straight down. Then let your back go. Slide your leg back in on the outer blade. Lift your foot off the floor. Resist on your inner thigh. Then curl on up. This time it's like you're bringing your elbow towards or maybe past your inner thigh. Super slow. If you want to mix it up, keep your head where it is. Don't let your head lower. You can bring your second hand up if you need and interlace. And touch your foot down first. Slide your leg towards straight. Supporting your head with both hands. And now super slow. Feel like you're lifting your head off your shoulders and lower it on down. Bring your arms down. So we're differentiating. In somatics, this term of differentiation means we're doing things differently, so your brain has to stay a little bit more focused. It's often a really good way of making sure that we don't become automated with our moves. And for your soloist, notice how it feels. Slide your second leg down. Psoas is a unique muscle, and all the muscles that attach in around psoas or work with psoas, because it can lengthen from both ends. And so sometimes it's quite good to change how we do that release. Releasing it from one end, then changing it, releasing it from the other. Notice your imprint. And then we'll frog leg both legs up to begin on the second side. Just bring that second leg up. Take your hand behind your head, the diagonal hand, and then the hand you have left goes behind your thigh. Take a breath in and out, pressing your shoulder blade down. Remember the diagonal rope from the very start of class. Feel like you're drawing your shoulder blade towards your pelvis and then press your leg and resist with your hand. Now let your back go. Let your back go. Keep your head on the floor. Elbow can tuck in. Bring your leg all the way in as your back lets go. Now stop your leg. So it might come in closer than you would if you lifted your head first. On your next exhale, sink the ribs and come on up. Stop there. Super slow. Let's release the head first. Feel like you're lifting your head off your shoulders. Create that traction through your ribs and your neck. Then let your arm come down beside you. You're going to touch your foot on the outer blade of the foot, really close to your pelvis. Notice that the second leg the other leg might roll out straight away. That's okay. That'll keep your pelvis grounded equally. And start to slide. And again, if you're almost at straight and you feel like you're about to arch your back, stop there. If you make it to straight, let your leg go. Take the hand behind your head. If your leg is straight, your hip, knee and toes face the ceiling. If your knee is bent, stay in this position. Inhale, arching, really try and draw the shoulder blade and pelvis towards one another on the diagonal. Press down through your heel, either the back of the heel or the outer ankle bone. Let your back go, tuck your elbow in, don't lift your head yet. Slide your leg in, then lift your foot. Now sink your ribs and come on up. You can stop your thigh on the inner thigh. Take your hand quite close to your pelvis so it's not too strong. And now keep your head where it is. So sometimes you might feel like you need both hands to do that. Interlace them, base of thumbs or index at your base of skull. And now lower your foot first. Keeping your back really released. Super slow, slide your leg toward long. And now lift your head off your shoulders as you lower it back down. Now you can completely switch off. Nice work. Then frog leg your legs up. Take your feet wider than your pelvis. And if you've got long legs, go really wide. And then bring your hands to your pelvis like you're cranking someone. And we can come into steering wheel and put it together with a knee release. So find your hands on your pelvis and notice, have you got one side that's higher than the other, or are you pretty level to that? If you've got one side that's higher, can you turn your pelvis in that direction? It's like your pelvis is a steering wheel and you're turning it clockwise. That would be your right side going up higher, or counterclockwise, left side higher. And then slowly bring your pelvis back to level. And then do that again. Turn your pelvis in the direction that your brain was habitually holding it in. And then super slow come back to level. Now from level, start to turn your steering wheel the other way and then lower this knee down. So if you were hitching up to the right before, you're going to start to turn your pelvis towards the left and lower the right leg down. In your video, that looks like my left, doesn't it? So if you've hitched up on the left, you'll slowly turn back towards the right, and then you'll lower the left knee down. And there'll be a roll into the outer blade of your foot, and you're lengthening from your armpit all the way down to your knee. Then super slow, let your pelvis come back to level in all directions. Bowl of water level, steering wheel level, leg comes back to center. And then let's go the other way. So you're turning your steering wheel now in the opposite direction. Feel how the first side has to shorten and the second side has to lengthen. And the side that you're lengthening the rope, keep lengthening the rope all the way down to your knee as you lower your knee down towards the floor. Your head might naturally turn to look towards that side, the side that you're lengthening. And you can gently press your shoulder down. And then let the bowl of water come back to level. And also let your pelvis come back to level. Keep your hands on your pelvis throughout this sequence. And we're going to go from side to side. Everyone okay with this? So we're doing a steering wheel with a knee release. And you need to come back up. Let your pelvis come back to level from a steering wheel point of view. From a bowl of water. And the leg will follow. So normally we just drop the knee, but today I'm getting you to actually lengthen the side from the waist first. So you turn the steering wheel, lengthening the side that you're releasing the knee to the floor. And back to center, no pressure in your back, it should feel really nice in your back. If you feel like you're arching your back, then you might need to do your little arch and release first. Then turn your steering wheel because the pelvis stays parallel to the floor. And then you lengthen that side, turning the steering wheel to lengthen. So if it started on your left, you'll finish on your right, and then come back to center. And then walk your feet back in, so then hip width apart and parallel. And let's feel all of this sequence on the floor with a wash rag.
So you can tip your pelvis. So again, check your pelvis is level. So in the steering wheel, you want your pelvis to stay level. And you tip your pelvis like a bowl of water towards the right, for example. You roll the right arm up, go whichever side you're drawn to. Sorry. If you tip your pelvis to the right, you roll your left arm up, mirroring you. And then you come back to center. And then you roll your pelvis over to the left, and the left arm rolls down, the right arm rolls up. You're looking away from you and flow from side to side. In the wash rag, it's like you're wringing out a wet tea towel or chamois. So you're trying to get that rotation through your upper back. Come back to center from your second side. And pause for a moment, either with your knees bent or your legs long. And notice, how now? Notice the power of 20 minutes of somatic. And then you choose, roll over onto your side to come into a new squat. Or roll through your spine again. And this time you're going to build up a little bit of momentum, if you've got the room. And you're going to pause in your easy squat. Now, I always forget I've got long arms, so for me to give my hands down to the floor here is quite easy. So if it's a bit more challenging due to the height of your arms or the length of your arms, then use your block for this group. If you can have your hands on the floor, have your hands on the floor. And then, so you're releasing into your Uttanasana to begin with. Let your knees be bent, let there be no pressure in your head. And then rise up onto the balls of your feet, keeping your belly and your thighs in contact. Press your hands down and forward onto the floor, or if you're on the block, just press down and forward into the block to help you round through your mid-back a little bit. And then keep your belly and thighs in contact and sink your heels down to the floor. Let your pelvis go with you. And then you rise on up, keep your belly and your thighs in contact, come right up onto the balls of your feet, pressing your hands down and forward. Let there be no tension in the neck. You can nod a little. Nod yes. And then sink your heels down, coming into your squat. One more time, come on up. Rise up to the balls of your feet with your knees really bent. And then sink your heels down. Come on down. Stay here for a moment. Let there be no tension between your shoulder blades. Let them drape open a little. Even slide your hands forward if you want. And then bring your hands back. Make your way into your first Uttanasana. And then slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. Draw your arms around you. And bring your hands to your heart. And then come to the top of your mat. Surya Namaskar. Salute to the rising and the setting of the sun within and without. Beautiful day to salute the sun outside. So take a moment to really ground. Feel the weight on the four ties of your feet. Feel your knees are soft. If your pelvis was a bowl of water, it's level. You might be slightly trickling the water out the front. And as you inhale from here, lengthen your spine out of your pelvis. Take your hands go. As you exhale, please feel free to roll down. You can always go nice and gentle. And release yourself all the way down into your foot bend. Then find your flat back. You're going to take your right leg back and lower that right knee. Tuck your pelvis under as you come on up, taking your hands skyward. Then release your hands to the floor. You're going to step back into plank. If you're enjoying playing with a three-legged plank, feel free to start from right now by pressing down through your hands, rounding your spine. Tuck your heel into your buttocks and then come back into a three-legged plank. Otherwise, come to a plank or a knee-down plank and slowly release yourself to the floor. Inhale into your sphinx. Firm up both buttocks, so squeeze both buttocks, press the tops of your feet into the floor. Draw back on your elbows and really lengthen your spine. Hold here as you press down through your forearms. Feel like you're drawing those forearms back. Feel the length in front of the body. And then slowly release yourself to the floor. Inhale to your hands and knees or plank. Downward dog or child. Please go where you need to be. If you need to come to child, come to child. Now let's come into an alternate heel press if you're in downward dog, or both heels. Rise right up to the balls of your feet or even the tips of your toes. And then keeping your knees straight to begin with. Start to sink your heels down. So of course you're going to stay lifted if the knees are straight. And then do that again. Come up to the balls of the feet or the tips of the toes. And this time let your knees bend. You can go both heels down or one heel at a time, bending one knee more and straightening the other. Your choice. Come to the balls of the feet with your knees straight and then choose what you do, both heels or alternate. And then flow. Checking that as you're doing this, you're pressing your hands down and forward. 5 points of contact from the base of your thumb, index, little finger, and then the inner and outer blade of your wrist. And then balance your heels. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Now, if you're in child, you're going to roll up at the back of your mat. Take your hands around you. Palms touch above your head. Step your right foot forward. Line your heel up with your big toes and let's go down by the squat. Sink on down. Like you're going to do up your shoelace. Press down through your feet. Keep your back heel lifted. Hands touch above your head. Step your left foot forward. Off you go. Back heel stays lifted. Press through your legs to come up. Squeeze that back leg. Then step the right foot forward. All the way to the top of your mat. So we started with the left foot forward, so finish when the right foot is forward. And you're at the top of your mat. Bring your hands back to your heart space. Inhale, take your hands go. Exhale, roll down or swan dive. Release into Uttanasana. Then find your flat back. You're going to step your left foot back. You're going to lower the knee again. We need to do this on the second side. Tuck your tail and take your hands slowly. Releasing your hands to the floor. Stepping back into a knee down plank, a full plank, or if you're going into a three-legged plank, you round your spine. You tuck your heel into your buttocks first, and then you press back. Release to the floor. Let's come into a locust pose. So Sphinx first to create some length. Draw back on your elbows. And then keep drawing back on your elbows and slide your hands back towards your feet. Palms down, lifting your long legs and your trunk. Once you're there, roll the tops of your arm bones back even more. So your palms end up facing towards your head. Hold or flow. If you want to flow, just soften the forehead to the floor, stay there, or come back up. If you're holding, really lengthen the front of the body to make it easier to hold. From your pubic bone to your breastbone, let it be long. And then we'll all release. Your choice, hands on knees or plank, child or down dog. This time enjoy a little side bend. So if you're in child, you can take your hands to one side. If you're in down dog, you've got so much to do here. You could go heels bent, heels lifted, knees bent, and play. You can even go all the way onto your side, play with the side plank. Notice what you need. And then we'll walk forward this time, but let's play with high heels. So plant your hands, come up onto your high heels while you're wearing them, and start to walk forward with your heels high. You'll get to a point where you go, oh, I've run out of room. Then you need to bend your knees, even come up onto your fingertips. Or you might be able to keep going all the way. Release into your forward bend. Let there be no tension in your neck, nod. And then slowly roll up. Drawing your arms around your body. Let your hands come to your heart space. Circle of joy as you inhale, interlace your fingers and draw your elbows wide. Exhale, press forward, rounding your spine. Rise up onto the balls of your feet. Squeeze your heels in. Take your hands forward. Release your hands around your body. Interlace behind. Remember, we're going to hollow the front first and then lengthen pubic bone to breastbone. Drawing your elbows towards long. Notice which thumb you have on top. Chin towards your chest. Or if you really love Baddha Uttanasana, feel free to come forward and release your arms over your head. Again, no pressure in the neck, nod it forward. Nod it yes a few times. And then slowly begin to come back up. Release your hands and feel like you're gathering all your focus and bring it back to your heart. Take an expanded heart breath, breathing in. Feel like you're pressing the wall and all distractions away. And as you exhale, collect all your focus and bring it in. A little more balance before we move on. So this is where you could use your block, or if you've got something higher, you could have your hands on the box, you could move to your ottoman, to your table even. And if you're staying on the block, I'll do it, see if you can see with me in front, yep. And so you'll have a preferred leg. So your knees are bent, you want your back really straight, and your knees bent. Stand on whichever leg you're drawn to, and then keeping your foot parallel, take it out to the side. So of course you're using your upper thigh, your abductors, taking your leg away from the midline, but try and keep your foot parallel. And then for these last 5, could you turn your heel out a little and take your heel out with your foot slightly turned in? So it's like that, yeah? Get the block out of the way. Working your glute even more. A few more if you need. It's going to make your standing balancing poses much easier if we wake these guys up. And then let's go to the other side. So this is not your preferred side. So what I suggest you do is, first of all, really anchor the 4-car tires on your standing leg. Make sure the big toe connects up to the pubic bone. Imagine there's a line that connects it up through your inner thigh. And then don't take your leg out so far. A tiny move. You can even touch your foot down as you go out if you need. Once you realize what we're doing, try and keep your neck relaxed. And then if you'd like to take your outer heel and let it do a bit more of the work, so you turn the toes in, you slightly pigeon toe. And even though you want to stop on this side, see if you can keep going. A couple more. And then when you're finished, do whatever you need to release. So that might be just come on down into Samatasana for a moment, squeeze your thighs together. You might feel like you just want to release into Uttanasana. Notice what serves you here. And then super slow roll up. Draw your arms around you. Bring your hands to your heart space. And then as you need to breathe in, take your hands go. In a swan dive or roll down. Release into your Uttanasana. Then find your flat back. Let's step the left foot back. Bend that left knee. Tuck your tail and come on up. So the reason I've got you to bend your back knee is it's really easy to keep your pelvis tilted forward. But if you bend your back knee, you can tuck your tail and really lengthen through your hip flexors. Then take your hands forward. Notice how your back glute is switching on a little more too. Then from here, bring your hands to your heart space. I'll just turn around so you can see. So we're going to come into revolving. So now you'll start to press out through your back heel and come forward a little bit. Back knee is straight. You can bring your elbow to the outside, or remember, use your block or your fingertips on the floor and take your hand towards the ceiling. Really press out through that back leg. Nice. Watch that you're not turning your head too far. And so it is your left hand that's on the floor. Swap your hands over there, Chris. Left hand's on the floor, that's it. Right hand's up. And then we'll come back and frame the front foot. Step back into plank. If you like doing that three-legged plank, feel free. Press down, heel to your buttocks, then back to a three, or both feet or knees. So many choices. Make the one that's right for you. And slowly come down. Let's inhale into a wide hand cobra. Come up onto your fingertips here. Squeeze your buttocks first, because on your fingertips, this is all about your back. You're not using your arms very much at all, just to stabilize. And then slowly release. Take your hands even wider if you need to, and they could be forward on your shoulders, and come on up. And then slowly release. Have a moment of melt. Transition how you wish to your hands and knees or plank. Down dog or child. Honour where you need to be. And stay still or move, whatever you need. You can come back to your feet pedaling, knee bending, heel press, or stay still. Find your silk scarf. And 3 more breaths here. Whether you're in child or downward dog. And from here, you're going to step that left foot forward. Bend your back knee. Tuck your pelvis and then come on up. Now notice with your pelvis tucked, it's much easier to turn this back glute on. So squeeze that back glute. Maybe start to come into a back bend with the glutes active. Then bring your hands to your heart. You lean forward, press out through your back heel, back knees straightens. Heel is still lifted though. And now you'll turn towards your left. Now you can bring your right fingertips to the floor and turn to the left, taking your hands skyward, turning to your front leg. Or you bring your elbows to the outside, your choice. Wherever you go, watch you're not straining with your neck, it's your mid-back that's turning. Then come back and frame your front foot. You retract, come forward, release into your Uttanasana. And take your hands up and interlace them on your tailbone and swap your thumbs over. If you want to wet your preferred way first, swap them over. You can stay here, you can let your shoulders round, or you start to draw your heads of your arm bones back and your shoulders back, and then move your knuckles towards long, straighten your elbows. Stay here, or take your hands over your head. Little nod, check that your neck's relaxed. And release your hands to your buttocks. Bend your knees, come into good old chair pose and bring your hands forward. So you can make your chair high, like a stool, or low, your choice. And you can hold, you can take your arms wider, you can bring your hands to your heart. Whatever you wish, even lift your heels.
Make sure you haven't gone too far forward with your trunk. So remember, from side on, your spine is parallel with your shins, no matter how deep you go. Come back to your gentle breath. And then rise on up. Take your hands above your head. Come to the tips of your toes and release. Stand for a moment. Hands back to the heart space. Take a breath in and take your hands skyward. Roll down every time if you wish, or swan dive. From here, once you find your flat back on your in-breath, step your right foot back and prepare for a heel down sky warrior. So pressing the back heel down, so both hips face forward, and press down through your legs and come on up. Just bring your hands to your pelvis for a moment, check that both hips are facing forward. And then let your front knee bend, let it track over your middle two toes. Now, if your knee goes beyond your ankle, like that, then you need to caterpillar that foot forward and stack the knee above the ankle. Then bring your arms out into a T. So remember, in this pose, we want to have an open heart space, or the chest open, really broad through the collarbone, and the back soft. So don't ram your shoulder blades together, soften. And when you exhale, stay still this morning if that's what you need. You can come into Chin Mudra, enjoy your Sky Warrior. Or if you want to flow, you're going to hug yourself. So wrap your arms all the way around. See if you can find your shoulder blades, the inner aspect of them. And then tip yourself forward. You can keep your front knee bent, or you start to move it towards pyramid pose and press the ball of the foot down. Again, you could stay here, or you could flow. Bending your front knee, coming on up. Open your arms into that T or the cactus position. So broad through the front, soft between the shoulder blades. Wrap your arms the other way. Come on down. Feel like you're drawing your feet apart on the mat. Pressing the ball of the foot down. And then slowly bend the front knee and come on up. Doing a hold now. So you can take your hands really high and bring your palms together above your head, or stay open. This is Sky Warrior, grounded and strong, open, authentic, settled into ourselves, ready to face whatever comes our way. And this morning, bring your hands to your heart space and come into Ardha Chandrasana. So if you need a block, I'll just move side on so you can see again. If you need a block for this, you would bring the block in front of your front foot, or if you've got long arms, you might just bring your fingertips to the floor. You can keep the back toes on the floor, but you start to roll your pelvis open and you lift your inner thigh so that you're lifting your outer ankle bone to the ceiling, like I'm trying to hold the ceiling up with my outer ankle bone and the back leg. And then you can take your top hand to the ceiling. Feel like you're lengthening your crown away from your back heel. Maybe you look towards the right. And then when you need to come down, bring your fingertips back to the floor. Bring your foot back down, you're in a high lunge. Step back to plank, three-legged if you want to, or just go straight back, or plank, knee down, plank. Try to release yourself to the floor, stop. If you wanted to come back up, be mindful if you're in three-legged, and then slowly release. This time, keep your hands directly underneath your shoulders, or go back to any version we've done already. Squeeze your buttocks. Come on up. If anyone wants to come up into up dog, you can. You're on the tops of your feet. Lift your inner thighs. And you can release your knees. You can all press back from wherever you are, whatever back bend you're in, into child. Please stay in child.
If you want to play with Wild Thing, you can. Come into downward facing dog or enjoy child. The great thing about online, no one else can see what you're doing and you're just totally listening to yourself, honouring the guidance. If you want to come into Wild Thing, remember you take one leg up and along first, you bend that knee and roll the hip open, but make sure the other knee is still facing forward. Look towards it for a moment. Then come forward towards a plank, press down through your grounded hand, pivoting on the other side, and enjoy. To come out, press down, rebound, come back. And then you'll take the other leg up and long, open the knee, roll the hip over, make sure you're looking towards that, the other knee is still pointing forward. Then come forward to plank, so you lift your back heel, press down through your hand, staying grounded, come on over. Go down to come up. All the way back. And then let's all meet in child. Come back to that gentle diaphragmatic breath. Stay in child if you're comfortable. Give your weight, receive support. And then slowly roll yourself up at the back of your mat. Take your time. Draw your arms around you. Let your palms touch above your head. Step your left foot forward. Line your heel up with your big toe. Remember, they're still hip width apart. And this time you're going to squat them down, same as before. Lift your back heel as you do it, like you're just going to drop your shoelace. Press down through your legs, come up. But lift, I should be mirroring you, lift your right leg up. As high as you can as you take your arms up. And then place it down. Line it up with your big toe, squat them down. Press down through your legs to come up. Bring the left knee up as high as you can. Then place it down, squat on down. Right leg up, you reach up, high as is comfortable. Release it down, squat on down. So we started on that left leg, and you'll finish on the right. And hopefully you're back at the top of your mat. Take your time. Watch that you're not putting your feet too close together. If you're feeling like it's a bit of a challenge of your balance, have your feet a little wider. Good work. And then come to the top of your mat. Take a clearing double breath. Hands in your body to open your hands wide. Even come up onto the balls of your feet. Go into like a real green light pattern from Somatic. And then let it go. Nice work. From here, you're going to step your left foot back. Plant your back heel, so we're coming into Sky Warrior on the second side. So shorten stance, make sure both hips face forward, make sure your pelvis is level, and then bring your arms, you choose, T, cactus arms, up higher, open through your chest, soft through your back. Now you could decide to just stay still the whole time and really feel that groundedness through your legs as you imagine you're drawing them apart, and that openness through your heart space, through your chest and your back. If you'd like to flow, you wrap one arm around, see if you can find the inner aspect of your shoulder blades, giving a little massage as you tip forward into pyramid. Then you let your front knee bend and come on up. And you'll go the other way. Crossing your arms the other way, tipping forward, pressing the ball of the foot down, and then come on up to hold wherever is right for you. This is Sky Warrior. And gently bring your hands to your heart space. We come into Ardha Chandrasana, so I'll just move slide on for you. Remember, if you're using a block, you will take your block now and put it in front of your foot. Or you come onto your fingertips. You can start with both hands on the floor if you like, and just stay here. You can even use your block and have both hands on the block. And just see if you can start to roll the back hip open and lift the outer ankle bone, like it's trying to lift up the ceiling. Your front knee can be slightly bent, soft. And then if you're going further from there, I'm going to join in a minute. If you're going further, you can take that left hand to your pelvis, stay there, or take it to the ceiling. And maybe you turn and look this time towards the left, towards the long edge of your mat. And when you need to come over, turn the hip, knee and toes to face the floor. Bring that knee into your chest and then stand, come into Uttanasana. Let there be no tension in your neck. And then slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Draw your arms around you. Let your palms touch and bring your hands back to the heart side. And then turn yourself to face the long edge of your mat so you can still see. And step your feet out so that your ankles are a little wider than your shoulders. And then let's turn the left toes out and bring the right toes in. For Trikonasana, so you don't want to be in your deepest stance. So that's why I didn't say line your feet up with your hands. So bring your hands to your pelvis. Turn and look towards your front leg. You need to have your hip, knee and ankle lined up. If it's not, you need to lift up that back heel, step it back a little more, and that will bring the back hip forward. So now you're lining up. Tip your pelvis over your front leg. Keep pressing the ball of the front foot down. And then, excuse me, you'll release your hand to your shin or wherever you reach. You can have this front knee slightly bent, or if it's straight, make sure it's not going beyond straight. Roll your shoulders open and then take your hands skyward. Trikonasana. You either look to the floor or you look ahead. And see if you can really gently draw the left hip bone back towards the heel on the right, lengthening the underside of your waist. Again, be mindful you're not straining your neck. If you're not sure where to put your head, look down or slightly forward, almost to the long edge of your mat. Extend a Trikonasana if you wish, taking your arm over your ear. Really lengthening the underside by drawing the left sit bone back, keeping the left knee soft. And then imagine that someone's drawing you up by that top arm. Parallel your feet. Bring your hands to your pelvis. And then let's turn straight to the other side. So you can turn the right toes out. Check that you have alignment from your hip. So if my buttocks is back, my hip, knee and ankle don't line up. Can you see that? So I need to bring my back hip forward a little, step the heel back more, so that I can actually line up my hip, knee and ankle at the front leg. Then you pick up your pelvis, tip it over that leg, find your ribs. Now I feel like I'm rotating, so I'm going to roll them open now already. Hands on your ribs. Then you just slide your hand down to wherever it meets. You can take your back hand behind you, or you can take it to the sky. Look to the floor or to the long edge of your mat if that's better for you there. And keep pressing the ball of the front foot down and forward. Notice how that makes you keep this front knee soft. And then you keep drawing the right sit bone back towards your back heel. And that will create more space in your underlay. So particularly if you feel like you're rounded, then really sink your heel, your hip back, sit bone back. Trikonasana. If you can yield with your bottom hand, extend the Trikonasana if you wish. Look to that long edge of the mat or ahead. You might lead with your little finger, rolling your arm forward. And then again, imagine that someone is bringing you back up from your top hand, parallel your legs. Goddess pose, heels in or horseman's pose, toes out, sink on down. Let your shoulders come up to your ears, enjoy. Right, then press down through your hands. Your shoulders come a little bit away from your ears. You turn to one side. You choose which side, but remember, if you turn, whichever side you turn away from, make sure the base of your thumb, or the pad of your thumb, is on the inside of your thigh, not your knee, so you can press back and keep the knee tracking over the toes. Either bend the elbow you're turning towards or keep it straight. Hold here or flow, your choice. You might just like to hold and breathe and just do it once to each side, or flow. If you've been holding, let's come back to center and then go the other way. Make sure that as you turn, the leg you turn away from, that you roll the arm forward so that you can press the base of that thumb into your inner thigh, keeping your knee over your toes. You choose whether you bend the elbow or straighten the elbow you're turning towards. And then come back to center. And bring your feet in by going heel toe, hip width apart, arms around you, palms touch. Bring them back to where we began in standing, hands at your heart. And release your hands into Tadasana and gently close or soften the eyes. And notice the weight on your feet. All calf ties grounded evenly into the earth. Bring your awareness to your knees, your pelvis. And then feel your crown lengthening away from your chin. Softening your shoulders. Feeling your hands draw towards the earth a little more. This is Tadasana. Feeling the effects of our practice. Notice if the weight is on the balls of your feet, or if it's on your heels, or is it even with the full calf high. And from here this morning, we're going to come into pigeon. If you would prefer just a really long Shavasana, it's about 22 minutes past the minute. Or if you know you need to go early, take a long Shavasana. Maybe like up the wall one. But if you're staying with me and you're coming to pigeon, if you need a blanket, grab your blanket before you come down. And you'll take your blanket and you'll roll it into little tube shape, I guess. And we're going to come on the left side first. And you don't have to come into down dog, you can be on your hands and knees. I quite like to activate my glutes the outer glutes so you can release the deeper glutes. So you could do that from your hands and knees. And then just lift up to come over the blanket. Or you could be in your down dog, your choice. Curl your knee into your chest and then bring the shin over the blanket. Remember to really tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, press out the back heel, then release the back foot. Slowly. This is the first time you've ever been in pigeon in this moment. Your knee has to be happy. So you can press the outer ankle bone into the floor to keep yourself active through your hips. Or if your knee's still not happy and it's really close to your groin, come on your back and do threading the needle. And then slowly make your way down if you haven't already. Once you arrive at your first edge that you're pausing at, send your breath into that position. Come back to that gentle abdominal breath. You might want to rock it back one time again. Next time you need to breathe in. Start to slowly roll up. Walking your hands back towards your knee. You might like to bend your back knee and bring the sole of the foot towards your buttocks. You could reach back with your hands and find your foot and bring it in. Or just have your back hand on your thigh. Find your edge, whatever your edge is. And then from here, we're going to actually sit down. So slide your blanket so it's just underneath that left hip. And you come into sort of that animal resting pose. And then bring your fingertips behind you, lifting your pelvis, pressing your shins down, maybe a back bend, or maybe just opening through the hips, your choice. If it's a back bend, you lift your chest, press your shins into the floor, and maybe take your head back. And then you'll slowly release your pelvis and walk your hands forward, coming into a hip opener. You might rest your forearms onto the floor, or you might go more side on so you can see, or you might come all the way down. And then the next time you need to breathe in, roll all the way back up. So we're coming into pigeon on the other side. So you bring yourself either onto your hands and knees, into down dog, adjust your blanket. So now the right edge is higher. Activate your glutes however you like. So you can even just lift your knees up a little bit. So from hands and knees, and squeeze that glute, just pulse it a few times. Remember, if your wrists have had enough, you can always be a dolphin and have the back end on the floor. So many choices. Start to know what's right for you. And then you bring that, curl yourself in, bring your shin over so the ankle comes to the outside of the wrist. You tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, press out through the knee. So you've never been here before. You've done this pose many times before. Be present with your body. Close your eyes or soften your eyes. And super slowly come forward. Try not to get too passive in this pose. So keep pressing the outer ankle bone of that right foot into the floor. And notice how that makes the awareness come into the muscle a bit more. And once you settle into your edge, keep that awareness on the outer ankle. And come back to that soft, gentle abdominal breath. Tomorrow we'll bring it back to breath. Time and time again. And you'll very gently start to walk your hands back towards your front knee. You can stay here if you're at your edge. You can bend your back knee and bring the sole of the foot towards you. You can place your hand on your thigh, or maybe you reach your foot, or maybe you slide your foot towards your elbow. Either way, any of those positions, be honest with yourself about where you're edging. And then breathe into your resistance. And from here, release the back foot. Just slide your blanket out to your right, so it's just underneath the right sit bone, and bring your left heel in, so you're in that animal resting pose. Lean back into your fingertips, press your shins down, press your pelvis forward. You can make it hip open and stop there, or you keep coming, opening through the front of the body, going into a back bend. You can hold for as long as you like in the back bend. And then when you're ready, you bring your pelvis back and slowly come forward. Into a forward bend. And notice, do you gravitate towards one leg? Are you in the center? I'm really not giving you direction there. I just want you to follow where you feel your edge, where you need to go. And you slowly begin to walk your hands back up. Pause as you come upright. Notice, do you want to come into an inversion this morning? Or do you incorporate an inversion into your Shavasana? So you could take your legs up the wall and stay there. You could come into a restorative inversion first, or even Vinyasa, where you roll into back bend. And if you don't have a bolster, you already have. So sometimes like the sitting, you might be fairly flat. Crescent moon cushion and take your legs up. Your choice, whether you come into a version of Viparita Karani with your legs up the wall, legs over the bolster, or come straight into Shavasana. And whatever you've chosen to do, start to come back again to that really gentle abdominal breath. We know that when we breathe abdominally without any strain, that we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the sympathetic, the fight and flight. The parasympathetic is known as the rest and digest.
The relaxation response stimulates the digestive system and calms the whole of your nervous system. If you're in Viparita Karate, make it like a full body mudra, pressing the whole of your upper arms into the floor, from your shoulders to your elbows. Let your in-breath and your out-breath be balanced. And then when you are ready, you'll gently make your way into Shavasana. Making sure you are completely comfortable. So settling down onto the floor and noticing all of your points of contact. From the backs of your heels all the way up to the back of your head. Feel like you breathe into all of your points of contact simultaneously. And as you breathe out, give the weight of the back of the body. Bring your awareness to your organs, the organs of your pelvis and your abdomen. Breathe into them, imagine them spreading apart from one another. And as you exhale, soften all of the organs. They are like water-filled balloons. Give their weight into the earth. Breathing in again to the organs of the abdomen and the pelvis. And feel, sense and imagine them cocooned within golden light. Just like the sun, liquid gold. And as you breathe out, give the weight of the organ into the back of the body and imagine them soaking in this liquid gold, the sun. Bring your awareness to the organs of your chest, to your lungs. And imagine the 3 lobes in the right lung 2 lobes in the left. Lobes are sections. And again, imagine the lobes of your lungs bathed within this golden light, like a liquid gold. And as you breathe out, like the liquid is permeated into your lungs and made them heavy, give the weight of the lungs into the back of the body, softening the mid-back to receive them, softening the ribs. Become aware of the heart and the thymus. And your lungs are like angel wings that hold the heart within. And imagine this golden light spreading into your heart space. Soften your heart space into the back of the body. And then bring your awareness to the organs of your throat. And once again, imagine them bathed within this golden light, like a liquid gold permeating into the organs. And let them soften into the back of your throat as you relax the whole of your neck. Imagine this light permeating down through your arms, to your elbows, your wrists, your hands, and all of your fingers. Feel this golden light spread into the organs of your head, your brain, your eyes, inner ears. And like liquid, feel the weight of the organs sinking into the base of your skull. Feel the forehead soften, the scalp, softening the base of the skull to receive the weight of the brain. Feel the eyes sink down into their sockets. Feel the inner ear release and the jaw soften. Feel this golden light spreading into your nose, your cheeks, your lips, teeth, tongue. Feel, sense and imagine this golden light emanating from all of your organs. From your chest all the way down your arm. From the abdomen and pelvis all the way down your legs. Filling your knees, shins and calves, ankles, heels and soles of feet, the tops of your feet, and all of your 10 toes. Cocooned within this liquid gold. Allow yourself to rest. And then very gently start to bring your awareness back to your body cocooned within this golden light. Witness your body, witness your breath, witness your mind. There's no rush to come out of this Shavasana this morning. Take your time to witness, to sense, to feel. And when you're all ready, you'll begin to deepen your breath. And imagine that you're drawing that lengthening, deepening breath from the core of the earth. Bring it to your navel and let it spread into every single cell in your body. And then draw it back from every cell to your navel and send it like an anchor or a root deep into the earth, grounding you into your body, into the floor, and into the earth way down below you. As you keep breathing in this manner, start to move your body in whatever way you feel guided. Might be really gentle initially, or maybe you want to stretch and yawn, taking your arms above your head, or bringing your knees into your chest. Notice what you need. And then when you're ready, you roll over onto your preferred side and pause there. Feeling the weight of the body grounding you, sending your exhale deep into the earth. And then gently make your way up into a seated pose. You might come to Vinyasa, to Thunderbolt, or you might come to cross-legged. Find a place where you can ground your sit bones. And find the very center of your sit bones so your pelvis is in neutral. Remember, if you're not sure about that, you can sit on your hands, you can arch your back, rock to the front of the sit bones, and then flatten your back and rock to the back of the sit bones, and then find the center. And once you've found the center, bring your hands into Chittakash Mudra, where the fingers are interlaced except the index and the thumb, and the tips of the fingers touch, and you rest your hands into your lap so the tip of your index is pressing to the earth, pointing to the earth, and your thumbs towards your heart space. Settle here, soft eyes, or maybe close the eyes once more. Come back to that gentle abdominal breath, like there's a scarf around your lower abdomen. You might like to imagine there's a coat hanger, and the hook of the coat hanger is in the crown, in the top of your head, or in your head, and the timber racks across your shoulders. Just hook your coat hanger onto a horizontal beam just above your crown. And let your crown be lifted towards the beam as you sink your sit bones into the earth. Gentle abdominal breath. Follow the in-breath into the space, the top of the inhale. Wait until the body needs to breathe out, and let the exhale lure you into that space at the end of the exhaling breath. Wait until your body needs to breathe in. Gentle breath, not the deepest breath you could do. Rather, you're following the natural abdominal breath. Every time you breathe out, let it lure you deeper and deeper into that space of stillness. Letting go of this and bring your hands into prayer pose at the heart space. Take a moment, if you wish,
to dedicate these arms. And we'll rub the palms together. Breathing in as you open your hands wide. It is with great respect and infinite love that we now conclude this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I honor that place in you where light, love, and truth dwell. For when you rest in that place in you, and I rest in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.